Hey there, everyone. Todd Kramer here, and welcome back to the Offstage Acting Podcast. This week, Jay and I am joined by the talented Jay and I are joined. Hey everyone, Todd Kramer here, and welcome back to the Offstage Acting Podcast. This week, Jay and I are joined by the talented Kezia Burrows, a Welsh actor with a posh English accent. Thank you, RADA. Whose career spans theater, television, and the immersive world of video games. Born in Neath and raised in the seaside village of Quay, Keziah has made a name for herself in film, television, and most especially motion capture and video games. You might recognize her from her portrayal as Amanda Ripley in Alien Isolation, or as Dr. Emma Fisher in Observation. Anyone? Calling all gamers. If you've played Hellblade, CrossfireX, or Cyberpunk 2077, chances are you've already met her, even if you didn't know it. We delve into her journey from classical training to becoming a sought-after performer in the gaming industry, discussing the nuances of motion capture, voice acting, and the evolving landscape of storytelling. It's a conversation filled with insights, laughter, and a deep dive into the craft of acting across mediums. Let's get into it with Keziah, Kez to her friends, but you're not her friend, I am, so don't call her that, only I can. Burrows. How you feeling, Jay?
I'm great. Just got back from the gym. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like doing a podcast. You feel like doing a podcast?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here.
Oh, is that why you're here?
Yeah.
All right, shit. Let's just do a podcast then. Welcome, everybody, to the Offstage Acting Podcast.
Welcome,
Special
everyone.
greetings and salutations.
Very special. Thank you so much.
That's from myself, Todd Kramer, and my sidekick, Jay Riem.
Hello.
Here we are on the Offstage Acting Podcast. Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Bienvenue. This is episode 51.
Wow. 51.
We just did our 50th not long ago, didn't we, Jay?
Yeah, we sure did.
Little celebration.
Yeah, we did a little celebration, a little chat, a little pat on the back, a little woot woot.
A lot of patting on backs. There was a lot of backs being patted.
Listen, for 50 episodes of a podcast, that back deserves some pat, okay?
Certainly. I agree. What's going on with you?
What's going on with me? I'm back in the zone after getting back from India, doing my morning routine, got back from the gym, did an audiobook yesterday, but my throat was sore, so that was tough, but I got through it. And just, trying to be a happy person. How are you?
I'm excellent. I just got back. I just ran back from Side, doing a video game, which I'm going to tell you all about, even though I signed an NDA. No, I'm just kidding.
Dang it. Wait, I do want to hear all about it, though. But yeah.
No, it was good, though. I mean, it's one of those kind of like, it's a character that's just a ton of fun to play, So it's like, it's character heavy and
dude.
Yeah.
That's so great. Congratulations. I think you talked about this on the last podcast, too. But
yeah,
how many days of recording do you have?
Oh, I don't know. Well, days, I mean, it'll end up being like 20 hours, something like that.
20 hours? That is
so it's like a full, sometimes, you just do like an hour or a couple of things. You go, get down, grenade, or whatever. And then they go, thank you.
20 hours. Dude.
Yeah, it's a complex, it's like an adventure game and stuff. Fun, good times.
Oh, wow, love it. That's like my dream.
You've done video games, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done two. One of them, I had, a few hours. I was a robot. I was the robot companion, and that was fun.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. The little robot rabbit. Hey everyone! Oh, get to it. Yeah, it was fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any motion capture?
I haven't done any motion capture. I have done
mocap, as we say in the game.
Mocap. No cap. No, I haven't.
No
yet,
cap.
I've done.
I've done no cap.
No, I've done no mo.
But
I have done a class. I did do a class at the Vault, and it was awesome. Yeah. I loved it. McQuinney, I believe, was the guy's name. He's a great teacher. It was a great vibe. I loved the class. I would actually be very interested in continue doing it. actually?
I will tell you what happened to me briefly.
Talk.
I'd done a video game, and then at some point, my previous agent, not the one we have now, got it all screwed up, and they wanted me to come in and to do motion. I told you this maybe before.
Yes.
They're going to do motion capture with the character I had been working on for, like, I don't know, almost a year, because they kept bringing it back. They kept, doing new incarnations of the game and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, he's not available." And they hired some other guy to do the motion capture stuff for my guy. And I've got my agent. "What are you doing?"
Like,
He's like, "Oh, I thought you were." I was like, I told you specifically, I'm here. I'm available. Don't give my guy away." And so then I ended up having to loop my own guy back. Oh, it's frustrating. So at that point, I was like, okay, I need to get into the mocap thing a little bit so that, it's clear that I have. So I went to the vault and I did one, and then I think it was Gods and Monsters, or what, like part one.
Heroes
and
and
part two.
Monsters?
Heroes and Monsters, right?
Yeah.
And then the part two. And then I was kind of getting on with it, and although I was kind of out of shape and like I felt like I was smoking back then. I was like, "Oh, they really want you to run around in here."
Yeah, it's like physical.
I feel like this
Really
is
want you to
physical.
run around in here.
And then nobody
is this? Like, they
in
want
there
to
was like my age. It was all 20-year-olds. Like,
What am I doing?
yeah, I was like, "Just give me a minute,"
Yeah, that's why I want to do it, because maybe I could do.
Can we do the
yoga
zombie again? That was easy. All I got to do is just like, anyway. And then just as I was like, okay, cool, I'm getting to know people, COVID hit.
Oh,
It was all locky downy.
Locky
And I was
downy.
like, screw that. But
COVID-19-y, yeah.
they brought in a special guest speaker, they brought in a pro to tell us about how awesome they are.
Yeah.
And give
As
us
pros
something
often do.
to reach for, so that we would keep giving them money. And
Great.
go, "Oh, this could be the
This could be
level
me.
that we get to. This could be me someday, right?"
Yeah.
And it was very, it was cool to meet this person and have the conversation. I mean, we listened. We came in, I think, in the evening or something like that at a bar and had a couple drinks, and it was a nice little presentation. And why am I telling you all this?
Oh my God, is that person the guest that you have?
That pro that they had is now a guest on our show.
Okay, that's actually so cool.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
You thought I was just babbling. You thought I was like wasting a bunch of time.
Babble.
Like,
you are a babbler. Wow.
You
I'm
are
a babbler too. I'm a babbler
shaky.
too.
Thank you.
I'm a
That's why
babbler
we built a
too.
whole podcast on babbling. How dare
We
you.
sure did.
You
Todd, oh my gosh, that's
shaky.
so cool.
So yeah, I pulled her. I mean,
You pulled her. Yeah, I got her.
Yeah,
Got her.
I pulled her into the show is what I meant.
Oh, how awesome.
I tried to pull her in the bar at the time, but it didn't go through.
Okay.
Anyway.
You being married and everything.
No, I was not. I'm not married. I wasn't married then either.
You're not married?
Not married now. I wasn't married then either. But anyway, she is prolific. You know the word. I see her off in this corner of my eye. She's prolific. Now you've done 2 video games. I've done a handful, a measured amount. Guess how many she's done? Approx.
Wait, if she's actually a pro,
if I say prolific.
If she's prolific. Okay, I'm gonna guess 80.
Higher. Yeah.
130.
Around at least 100.
117.
No, I want accurate numbers.
Yeah, 100.
She's done quite a bit. She's going. I don't know. Yeah, probably about 102. At least 100 video games alone, and then also all kinds of other work. So, really excited to have her. Her name's Kezia. Kezia Burrows. Can you guess where that name's from?
No, and I don't care.
You
She'll
don't care
she'll tell me.
She'll tell it. Well, because it's also interesting because we've got our first Welsh woman.
Oh, she's from Wales.
Welsh person.
Welsh woman.
Yeah.
A Welsh woman.
So we're gonna have a whale of a time.
Okay.
Can
we bring her on now?
A whales of a time. No, we're gonna watch your show real briefly.
Okay.
Let me get it right. I want to get it. Oh, there she is. What? I screwed up. There she is. Wait a minute. Oh God, what am I doing? Everybody's all right. Let's just watch a bit. I'll do it fast.
I'll go.
Okay. No, you don't have to go.
But you do love that this is happening right now, though, don't you? At least admit that. Admit that I really have given you the perfect opportunity to get out of all of it.
What are you talking about?
I'm not stupid, Jack. I know you know.
Know what?
She's also an actor, but
I've been
not just
tired.
a
Yeah,
video.
clearly.
And emotional, and I told you I was scheduling a checkup.
I have no idea what you're on about. I promise.
She's pregnant. She's pregnant.
You what? Oh my God.
She's pregnant.
It's
She's about
lagging.
to say she's pregnant.
We'll never know now because the thing is lagging.
No, I do know. Her eyes are telling me I know.
Her eyes.
No, I know.
Oh, I wish I'd preloaded this. That's all we get. Let me just do a quick.
I mean, that was pretty good, to be fair.
That's pretty much all we need,
I know
right?
what's going on. No, I do. That was great.
Well, but that's like one
That's
bit.
first
Don't
20
understand.
seconds,
You
and I'm
said
like, yeah,
you've
let's
been
hire
in
her.
remission for years.
Yeah, she's hired.
Uh-oh, it's
When did you
worse.
find out it had come back?
I had the test a week ago at my checkup.
No.
See, you were
haven't
wrong.
gotten the results yet, but
Oh my God, no. I'm right,
Cancer.
'cause she's pregnant
I
with
know my
cancer.
body, it's back.
She's pregnant with cancer. It's terrible.
I'm laughing, but this is actually really bad.
You fucking bitch!
Oh,
Oh,
language.
You get.
Language.
Look at what you're doing to all of us! I have 2 children at home who have broken their hearts
So much drama.
because their father is there that you have brought into your mess!
Get your hands off me. Don't you touch her. Oh!
And so,
What the hell?
ladies and
Oh, what?
gentlemen, we
Mystery
have
Island?
arrived at
Oh.
last to the person responsible for the murder of Mr. Kensington Culpepper. The killer is Loretta St. John.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Am I correct,
No.
Fredericks?
I hope
I'm
not.
sorry, Lady Alcott, but no.
Seriously?
I'm afraid so, Baroness. Would anyone else care to try?
I might want to watch this movie. I'm not going to go.
Not particularly.
Oh, this guy.
Me too. Sometimes I just like to go
He
on my
always
horse
plays
and off I
smarmy.
go into the fields.
Does it really well.
No plan?
And I don't have any of the video game stuff, so we'll talk to her about it.
this is so good.
It's brilliant. I don't know why she's not like.
At all.
I don't even know why she's on our
It's
show.
what he's not saying that worries me.
She's too
He's out
famous.
at 6 in the morning down at
Should be
Rhiannon's,
famous
and
for
then he's
going
looking
about
at all
that.
this legends
I mean, like,
stuff
you know,
on his tablet.
international.
So he's interested.
All
He
right,
asks
enough
me
of
about
the blah
lists
blah.
all the time.
We have the real deal. So let's bring her on. What do you think?
Yes.
Here she is, Kezia Burrows. Welcome. It was quite the lead up.
That was so
sorry.
good, Kezia.
Wow.
Oh, thank you. Nice to meet you both properly.
Yeah. Yes.
See you.
First time. That was so. I haven't seen that reel in a long time. So funny watching, isn't it? It's so funny watching.
We always
yourself
get that
and what it's
reaction.
like.
People are just
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
why are you
it's
showing
been
this? Yeah.
years.
I can't believe I'm your first Welsh person. Shemai, I should say. Satoichi, Shemai.
Shemai, yeah, Shatoiki. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
I think you're the first Welsh, isn't she?
I mean, the
haven't
first
had her.
openly Welsh.
I was going to
That's
say,
right. We probably had a
most
few.
family trees have at least 1% Welsh going on.
Yeah, probably there was a few that were trying to hide it with behind their posh accents and things. Yeah. So, woo. You don't remember meeting me though, do you?
Todd, you kept that from me. I was like, was that
Yeah.
time in the pub? Because that was one of the first, and I still haven't done many. I remember you guys all being so lovely, and I was really
true.
nervous because I, hadn't done talks, and I don't really know what I'm talking about. That's why you always feel, isn't it? You kind of realize, oh, maybe I do know something, but
Right.
putting it out
somebody
there. John was
asks-
very good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the whole thing was pretty cool. I don't know what they're doing now. I mean, I know they're pumping a lot of people through that program. So to me, it looked like a closed shop. And at this point, like there was a time, and that's probably when you got in, was when mocap was like this unknown thing. Actors weren't really doing it. It was like they were trying to pull in voice actors. They were trying to pull in dancers and others. And even stunt people. And it was just, they were just looking for anybody that could move. And now it's like really coveted. Like people are trying to get in, but I think is it too late?
Definitely. I think now is the prime time. I can give you some names afterwards if you like. Of,
Okay, wow.
Agents that would love to have you, I'm sure.
For old
They're-
guys like me?
What
Especially
about yoga
not-
practitioners? What about yoga
Yeah,
practitioners?
that's true. We do yoga.
Hey, listen, I've been asked maybe 3 or 4 times to do yoga in a
Yeah.
mocap.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
actually, I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But It was an unknown thing. It was this kind of odd. It didn't seem related to acting on any level. When did you start?
So I was actually doing a Shakespeare play.
Okay.
When I got my first, was it my first one? I remember going up for one when I'd changed agents, and this particular agent had a commercial department, and at that time, back in like 2009, the games were going through them, and they didn't really know what they were. They just kind of say, "Would you be interested?" It would be like, "You probably don't want to do this, but would you like to give it a go?"
Yeah.
And maybe like you guys, I come from. Got 2 older brothers. I did sports for a long time. I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to.
Sounds like fun, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, if listening to what you were saying earlier, Todd, about your experience going, I'd like to do the body. Why am I not? That happens so much. You know, I think it's starting to change, but a lot of people really want to do it. And I think sometimes, the companies are starting to understand that now. Like, oh, the voice actor wants to do the mocap, which to us, obviously, as actors is crazy. We're like, yeah, can we do as much as possible?
Yeah, it's my character.
The odd actor, I understand, maybe doesn't want to get in the suit or something, which is fair enough. But I think most actors would like to. Anyway, so I was doing Measure for Measure in Wales. And and I had, I think, or maybe this was Alien Isolation, and I did Remember Me before that, maybe. But it was around that time, and I was doing a lot of theatre, my first love. And
all of our
then, all of our first area.
Yeah.
And then it was that, would you like to? And again, I'm a massive horror fan, huge horror fan.
Okay.
And obviously, Eleanor Ripley, female protagonist, one of the firsts. It was just a dream. So that was brilliant anyway. And I did it. I'd done Remember Me, a really cool French, like Neo-Paris game before that, playing the whole shebang.
Right.
And so I'd already got the bug. So that was kind of around the time I got into it. And like you say, it was kind of a closed shop. I got really lucky going through the voiceover side of this particular commercial department. And then once I was in, you're in.
Yeah,
because there was only there wasn't many of us. Like you say, we were so.
That's why I was disappointed when it didn't. When my agent passed me, I was like, "That's my in right there." They need my character to get an emotion capture suit. Boom. Oh well.
And then we learned on the job, of
opportunity.
course. And now you guys have got these courses which do help. And now I've noticed more and more that they get you jobs too, right? Because you get recommended. So they are a good thing. But like I always say, as you guys, Todd, you've done some now, right? Some mocap.
Nope, never done it.
Oh, I still haven't. Well, what I was going to say was that it is, when people ask me, apart from a few technical things like TV and theatre, right, are very different, it is just acting, especially these days with the kind of evolution of the software. It's brilliant. So I'm kind of always a bit of a champion with that, with mocap as well. Obviously, you do the gameplay stuff, like you were saying, the walk cycles and the runs, which is a bit more technical. But the cutscenes are definitely some of the best scenes I've ever had.
I love that.
Characters I'd never play as well, usually.
Yeah,
or
that's
scenarios I'd never be in. Yeah.
How amazing.
That's the beautiful thing about voice. For one thing, is like I'm built physically, and the way we look kind of dictates a lot of the roles we get, first and foremost. But in voice, sky's the limit. So you get to end up playing all kinds of characters that you just never would have a chance to play otherwise.
And that folds over into mocap as well, because they can put a fat suit on you. You know, you can be in space and weighed down. It's you can
be
play
a half animal creature or zombie, whatever the whole. Yeah.
I got to be an alien in Alien Isolation for a scene. It was brilliant.
How popular are you with the nerds?
I don't know. I mean,
you must be hugely. Come on.
You're asking the wrong person. I mean, I don't think that I came, I guess, recently, right, with Baldur's Gate 3, it's kind of gone huge, and it's become this phenomenon, and, it's great. The actors are so involved in the campaigns now. But I guess over the years I've done it, it wasn't like that. So I feel in this kind of weird realm of like, yeah, people love the games, but I suppose it's quite nice, really. I'm just kind of there, I kind of get the appreciation, but it's all
have you done
calm.
like the Comic-Con? You must have.
Well, I'm with a few now, and I think if you're in something when they come out is usually when it's the most popular. But I think
a fan following, they must be following you somehow.
I have,
because you've played some kind of iconic characters, haven't you?
Well, I think probably Amanda Ripley is the most iconic. Yeah. Well, at least to me as well. It's hard, isn't it, when you're also a really big fan of a franchise? It does become this. And I guess that's the only one I've got a doll of. There we go. I don't know how you
Oh,
measure
you do
it,
have,
but that's
you've got your own doll? Oh,
I
there
mean,
you go.
bucket list, right?
That's
Bucket
the,
list.
That's the peak. Yeah, there they go. That's pinnacle.
Okay.
Jay's already,
But
he's looking for the doll on eBay as we speak.
It's like, doll, where
It's like
is
Kezia
Kezia Burrows
Burrows,
Ripley
alien Ripley doll.
I've got one right behind
got it,
me
of course she
there.
does.
Of course, like my
Yeah.
parents got it for me.
Yeah. I've got a Lego. I got my own Lego character that I did.
Oh, you've totally beaten me with that. Lego.
I did Iron Fist in Lego. Beep.
Oh my God.
I mean, the resemblance is uncanny.
Uncanny. Wow.
I am
Just
Iron
did a-
Fist. Yeah, I know.
God, that's cool. It's
It's
cool,
kind of
isn't
fun.
it?
It's just fun to like have a little thing. Yeah, there you go.
It's a little bonus of being an actor, isn't it? The perks of the jobs on the roller coaster.
Yeah, in lieu of pay. So so all right, I want to go back. I'm gonna go back to childhood. Early Keziah, little Keziah growing up in where would you grow up in Wales?
I was born in Neath Maternity Hospital, 2 contractions, and I was out, as my mum said. And then no messing about, and we lived in Porthcawl though.
Right.
Sorry, my mum, I say this all the time, so I hope Mum doesn't mind. And then then I was in Porthcawl till I was 5. Jay's lost it.
I have. I've never 2 contractions. I was out.
I'm out. That's
It was all
I've
downhill
never
from
heard
there.
that.
your mother must have been like stoked. Was she back to work like 4 hours later?
Knowing my mum, probably.
Oh my gosh, your girlfriends,
Cooking
her
for everyone
other
or something?
Mom friends must be so jealous. They must be so jealous.
I don't
Well,
think
do you know, she was watching, I don't know if you remember Pebble Mill. You probably don't, right? Because you would have been in America.
Yeah,
But there was a popular daytime. I was like 2:15 in the afternoon, if anyone wants to do my
Oh,
horoscope.
right.
And
you could watch
she
Pebble
was riding
Mill.
a bike, I think, as well. She was like relaxed.
Wow.
You're the first?
I was the fourth. You know, she was a pro.
Fourth.
No
Okay,
fourth.
so yeah. Right.
Out of how many?
Anyway.
A lot of experience.
Out of fourth out of four.
Fourth out of 4. You're the fourth and last. Fourth and last. Yeah.
Oh no, yes, sorry,
The
the
baby.
youngest. I was
The baby.
The baby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was in Porthcawl till I was 5, and then we moved to Carmarthen. But both my parents, who met when they were 12, are from a place called Quay in Wales.
Oh yeah.
The Quay Newydd, the Welsh Quay, which is a little seaside village. So we kind of spent a lot of our time there. So that's kind of where I feel like I'm from, really.
Right. Quay, beautiful. So you're proper Welsh.
Proper Welsh, yeah. Although my parents are amazing, and I don't have a bad word to say about them. But
okay,
the one gripe I have is that they both speak Welsh, fluent in Welsh,
and they didn't teach you
no
a bloody thing
because Dad had to wear something called the Welsh knot in the playground, which was because it was frowned upon back then.
Yeah,
because it
I
wasn't
heard
economically
about
viable.
this.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Welsh knot? Explain that.
From what I remember, it's a piece of rope that you wear around your neck with a little plaque on it. I can't remember what it says, but it's if you speak Welsh in the playground, you get this put on you because you shouldn't speak Welsh.
Punishment.
Yeah. So that's what Dad cites as the reason that they didn't teach us properly.
They
Not that they
humiliated
didn't.
him.
Yeah, but I know a lot of words, but I could never act in it, for example, which is such a shame because it's great at the moment. There's so many great Welsh bilingual TV series out, but now my niece and nephew are first language, so it's coming back around.
Good, they can teach you.
And also, just to let you know, Porthcawl, where I was, my mum actually found my name on a gravestone there in the daytime of an old lady, and she pronounces it. And always tells me to pronounce it, even though you are right.
Yeah, I know I mispronounced it because I figured it was a Welsh thing.
But it's consistently said Keziah, which makes me think Mum should have just called me. I should have a H on the end, I think, which it sometimes has. But it's Keziah.
Keziah.
There we are.
Of course, it's a Celtic thing.
It's all right. That's all right. And it's actually Hebrew. It's from the Bible.
I was wondering because I looked at that and I was like, that's like a Hebrew
Keziah.
Keziah. It's a derivative of cassia it's cinnamon-like of the cinnamon tree. There we go.
Right, Old Testament. So people call you Keziah though, and you don't correct them.
Well, I tell you what, it's very good in meetings because it always starts with the name, and then I go into the story and I say it rhymes with Messiah, desire, fire. You know,
right? Liar.
And then I tell the story. Oh yeah, liar. Don't want that one. Thanks.
Keziah. You don't do the thing like it's actually Keziah,
No, I always
appreciate-
start by going, "You're probably right," and then I go,
You
"It's
did
my
that
mum's
to
fault."
me,
My
yeah.
poor mum is getting a lot of attention on this, isn't she? This podcast.
She's gonna love it. What's her name?
Elizabeth, Liz.
Oh, that's simple.
Liz.
Yeah.
Much better. She's gonna be disappointed that your image isn't coming through as clear as we'd like it to. We'll just explain that you're in a 5G situation, and as beautiful as you are, we are only seeing like this white blob.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you'll have to go. You'll have to
But
go
you can. I
find
need to
her
go.
online.
Oh. I thought,
Yeah,
okay,
you'll have
now.
to go. So you'll have to go because I just can't look at it anymore. It's really starting to.
You could just put my headshot up from 2018.
I'm trying to get viewers onto this thing, and I'm trying to bring the beautiful people, and all of a sudden I get Kezia's white blob.
Keziah.
I think I probably look more beautiful.
You're probably right.
Pixelated, you know.
Keziah. I'm gonna say Keziah from now on. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, you will while I'm here.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, we're friends now, so it can be Kez,
Kez. I was gonna say people probably call it Kez. Kezi.
like the bird. There we go.
I don't know what that is either. You're
Kez,
confusing.
our
There's a Kez bird?
The book Kez about the boy and the bird.
Is it?
You should find that.
Okay. Is it
Craig
spelled
David used to
K-E-Z?
do an impersonation of it. Oh no, not Craig. Craig David didn't do an impersonation. Who's the guy that used to wear the masks and pretend to be Craig David? You know that guy. And he'd go, Kez. All right, Kez. No. Moving on. Moving
Nope,
on.
I like this. Kez, is it short for Kestrel?
Yes, exactly. Sorry, yes, it's short for Kestrel, and
the
that's the
Kestrel.
book, the famous book.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
We are digging deep here. All right. This is primarily an actor's podcast. So we will downshift, I think, and accelerate into how you ended up professionally. You went to RADA?
I went to RADA 21 years ago. 21
When
years
you
ago.
were 4
I
years old?
graduated 21 years ago. Hey,
you see what I did there?
This is a fun podcast.
It is fun, yeah. we scored big points here on the Offstage. Wow.
Actually, I was going to say, I was really enjoying listening to you guys, to be honest. I was having a great time. I was like,
Most people do.
Go on now. Yes,
we don't,
I went...
but others do. Can't stand each other. Okay, how old were you when you got bitten by the bug? That's kind of the...
Oh, well, I was thinking, not that I talk about this much, but I end up saying, like everybody else, I was actually Mary, in church.
Yeah,
and went down the aisle. But I don't know if that happens to that many people actually from that young. I think all of us loved it then, probably.
I think every child does a school play or a kind of a panto or whatever. And then everybody gets a shot at it. But even if you play, like I played Teddy Bear number 2 in the Teddy Bear's Picnic. Now, that doesn't mean everybody gets bit. It's just the few that go, oh my God, that's the thing. I played a tree when I was 8, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. Now, the ones that actually then follow that dream are also few and far between. But so I don't think it's odd that you played Mary and then what?
Well, do you know what though? That's not the time because Mum had to remind me. Mum had to remind me of that because I was 5. So I don't remember. I think I must have asked her once upon a time, did I act in it? And she was like, yes, you were Mary. Oh, you loved it. You went straight to the front and all that. I was like, no, obviously no recollection. But then I did do all the youth theatres and we were really lucky. And he passed away last year, actually. Tony Layton, Merlin Youth Theatre in Carmarthen. I started going there, I think, when I was 11 or 12 with my best friends. And it started off quite small and then it got really big over the years in that area. And we did, and he was brilliant, Tony. He used to work with Catherine Zeta-Jones in Swansea. That was his big story. And he used to train her. And he was quite elderly at this time. This would have been mid-90s, late 90s. And he wrote, so he came with this play called Ragtime Band, and I remember I had to, and it was post-apocalyptic and all us kids, and I had to ride on a bicycle to get the water going, and we were singing, I'm singing in the dust. It was brilliant. So it was kind of devised, but he'd kind of written it, and that would be it for sure.
Is that like an after-school kind of program, like a local community thing?
It was weekends, and it might have been after school as well when it came close to production.
At the community.
Did you have to audition for it?
No. I think maybe we did lots of workshops and then he said, okay, you're doing this part kind of thing.
Like a club for kids or something. Performing arts kind of, yeah.
it was brand new, and Freya, Charlotte, and myself, the 3 girls, I remember my mum was treasurer, Annie made the posters, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became much bigger 10 years down the line, and we did Bugsy Malone and big musicals. And anyway, he was brilliant and really experienced at working with professionals. So I remember there were a few tears sometimes, but looking back on it now as an adult,
shouting at the children.
Come on,
you're emoting all over my stage.
But looking back, I mean, how lucky he was. He was really lovely, and we had a lot of laughs as well. And the opportunity to work with him so young, who really, taught us lots of skills.
Yeah,
was brilliant.
That's important to have this kind of mentor.
Yeah,
they can bring it out. I'm always amazed when people sacrifice themselves like that for no real benefit personally, other than just the love of it, and to do it for the kids and just to.
Well, do you know what? At his funeral, which we all went to online, we'd all written. It was on a Facebook page, actually. The great things about social media. Everyone got to write their memories of Tony, and then they read loads of them out. So, what purpose he had? A fulfilling life, like you say. He must have just loved giving back like that and seeing kids thrive and enjoy themselves. And what he loved. All our inner children, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would never do it, but I'm glad that there are people out there that do sacrifice themselves that way.
Yeah. Agreed.
Jay's not paying attention anymore.
Oh, okay.
Did we lose you, Jay?
What? Old people.
So now it's ended, yeah? Now I go.
Yeah, if you want.
No,
Jay and I can wrap it up. I think we heard everything we wanted to hear. No, actually, I want to hear more. Okay, so how do you go from that to then, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and I'm auditioning for RADA?
I haven't thought about this in a while, so I knew I was coming on.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh gosh, that's quite interesting, actually.
Well, we'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, sorry. No.
You don't tell us.
Being me, I was like, oh, okay.
That's actually very interesting. I'm going to save that story for the podcast.
And it really isn't that interesting, but I was like, oh, it wasn't just as simple as going to RADA, maybe. Well, I did, like I mentioned, I did do a lot of running.
Through the house?
Like, Wales is quite a small country. Right. Through the house, away from my brothers.
Oh, you can run everywhere
trees,
in Wales?
all that kind of stuff.
Somebody goes, hey, come visit me at the... Like, just run there.
Well, there's lots of mountains. There's lots of places to run,
Yeah.
But I was really into that. But the thing is with running and all that kind of thing, that was the other thing I loved. And I like water polo, and I just loved doing sports when I was younger. Probably had too much energy. And I was told eventually, about when I was 15, by my running teacher, because I did Harriers and things, that I wasn't necessarily going to go on to be an athlete. So, right. I mean, I was good, but I wasn't that good. And that's the thing, isn't it, with athletics? You only pursue it to a high level if you're going to aim for the Olympics, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that wasn't me. So that made my decision really easy going into sixth form to go to this incredible college called Gosainen College in Swansea, which was a BTEC performing arts, and I did AS level dance. And I just knew, like we were saying earlier, there was no other options for me, really. I went, it was like 40 minutes drive from Carmarthen, went for an open day there. It was great. You just did practical stuff all the time.
Right.
And it was kind of setting you up to go to drama school. That was the idea of it. And incredible teachers there as well. Nikki Neal, Mike Waters, Nick Evans, they are brilliant.
College, for those who are not Welsh or British, for you means what age?
16 and 17, 18. So your A-level year in UK, those 2 years before you leave.
Yeah, so
you
like
have
kind
to
of
do
high
A-levels?
school, private high school.
No, you could leave. Well, you could just leave and get a job.
You could be a tradesman, yeah.
So like in the country, you don't, like, kids like technically like finish their government education at like 15, like required government education.
Legally, yes, 16, yeah.
16.
And then you can go on. But it's much more diversified than we have it in the States, for example, where you can really get into a niche area of education and learning, as opposed to just a general, we come out at 18 with just this kind of general like high school education. Whereas if you, at 16, you can start to kind of choose a little bit more to get into areas, right? Like drama, if you wanted to.
Yeah, well,
trade,
I've always...
design.
It's always been kind of crazy for me that like in England, you guys have like to continue with schooling at 16, you have to like choose a path. Because in the States, like you don't, if you do the college system, you don't actually have to choose a path until you're like 20.
Right, you could do 2 years of university and still not
because you're
pick a major. Yeah, that's right.
Pick a major until you're 20. Yeah, and I always thought that, I think there's some good things to like the British education system, but when I first heard it, like part of me feels thankful because like I like that I had all this extra time to like figure it out, because I felt like the system here, you have to figure it out so soon.
Yeah,
that's just me though.
They guide you.
No, I agree.
Through that, and they also kind of test you a little better. So if you're a dullard, then they know that by the time you're 10, and they start moving you into.
It's a good
driving lorries and service.
My best mate actually in school, and still one of my best mates, she was my favorite actor. She was brilliant.
Right.
And because she had to make a decision at 16, she didn't necessarily have her parents were lovely. Yeah, and also they weren't pushing it. They were like, go on, they were more get yourself a proper degree or education first. And so she had to stay on and do that. Whereas I always wonder what would have happened if she'd have been given the opportunity to go sign in or somewhere like that.
Right.
Because she was, I mean, she's very happy now, but she was very talented.
Taken all your work though, huh?
Wow.
Didn't think of that.
You'd have about half the work you have now if she had made it.
Yeah. There we
but
go.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, there's Todd with that attitude.
Talk about lemon to lemonade.
I'm just saying, that's if she was better than you. But you never know. It's a long, that road and that trajectory is long and rife with all kinds of obstacles, and it's not for everybody. You have to, talent and being great at it is not enough.
No, agreed. You've got to have that support. I was so I look back none of my family are in the arts. I know my dad was in a band growing up, and he's probably a secret performer. And my mum loved cameras and stuff, but he was a policeman. My mum was a nurse. They didn't end up going down that route. And when I look back, like the support I got just to do all these different youth theatres, drive me if I missed the bus all the way to Swansea to Sixth Form College, and then what followed, going to auditioning for all these drama schools, which is especially from small towns like that.
They must be really proud.
Well, I'm just so thankful, because it isn't easy. And then I think having that support system helps, doesn't it, in this tumultuous world we're in.
I would probably be more famous if I had had more support, to be fair.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
I think so, yeah. I regret. I overcame. I did pretty well considering the complete lack of support that I had as a young person. But
I wonder if that's the other side of it, though, that could really help, because then you have that push to prove yourself.
No, it's better just to have like a parent that's a famous actor, and then they go, "Oh, I'll get you an agent." Yeah, let me call Bernie. I'll pick up the phone. They call Bernie, and they got my kid. He wants to be an actor. Oh, yeah, all right. You got something for him?
Screw the journey. Let's have the good results.
Who needs the journey? Yeah,
not right.
Oh, you know what? I'm shooting something next week. We could use a guy, pizza delivery boy. Yeah, that sounds perfect. Send him over. Boom. Next thing you know, you're a movie star. Done. Simples.
Just like that.
Yeah. But not for us. So RADA, good times.
RADA, good times. Although you went to uni, right?
I did.
Is that right?
So did Jay.
You both did?
Well, Jay went to Lambda.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. And Todd went to Loyola Marymount.
I have a degree. I have a theater arts degree from a university called Loyola Marymount in Los Angeles.
And were you like 9-hour days, or was it like a uni you had time?
It's more of an academic sort of degree in a sense, in that respect. But I mean, lots of shows. You do your classes, and then you do your shows, and then I went on my thesis. I decided at some point, like, well, I don't want to get a degree in acting. That's dumb. Let me at least. I was like, finally, I kind of woke up and I go, let me like get something that might. So I got it. My thesis and my degree is actually in theater directing.
Oh, cool.
So I decided that at least I'll try to salvage this education.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how it works in the States. It's kind of the best you could do, unless you go to something like Juilliard or some kind of conservatory. Then you can come away with basically a degree, which sets you up to kind of be a teacher, or a lot of people were getting stuff to stage management. You come out, you can be a stage manager, you can do design, lighting, you can work in theater, and that kind of thing.
That sounds similar then to the Lambda in RADA. You get a degree at Lambda as well, don't you?
Uh-huh.
That's right.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
And then I got it certified from the University of Kent. I know that's a random thing because Lambda, they actually went out in my year, they had just become their own accredited university. I know it's random. Is RADA its own university, or did you have to get it accredited by like another university?
Exactly. We're accredited with King's. So that was I was the second year of that, I think, yeah. So there was only two of us because I didn't go to university. And the point of me bringing that up was because I think I wish I'd done university first, I think. Because I went when I was 19, and I was a very young 19.
Okay.
And I think I'd have benefited from getting the uni side out of the way, obviously getting a degree as well, but that those kind of, it was a lot, and I loved it, and the teachers and the training was brilliant. But you have your relationships.
Yep.
You're doing 9 hours a day. It's quite a lot when you're. And my year was a great year, and a lot of the people in my year had gone to uni first, and I could see that they were, on it, and they definitely got more out of it than me.
They had an agenda, and they knew what they wanted to achieve out of it and things.
Yeah.
I think it was similar for me as well. Anyway, I was 18. I was kind of having fun. I thought it was fun, and then somewhere along the line, like I say, by the time I turned 21, I was like, man, they're gonna chuck me out of here, and I don't got nothing. Nothing to show for it.
Same. I was it was just it was still fun, wasn't it? It wasn't a job or work. The training wasn't work. I mean, it was hard at points, and I had to study and work, but it was mainly just
it was just an extension of and that's when it becomes like, and that's one of the things I often say to younger aspiring actors. Like, there's a big difference between, hey, we're having fun doing the school play, hey, come on, everybody, we're going to put, we're putting a show up in the barn. Let's, Annie Mae's stitching costumes to like, oh, I'm about to jump out in the world, and I need to be a professional. My anecdote is this, essentially. When I kind of really woke up, I remember being about 19, maybe 20, and there was a job fair at uni with all California. So it was all outdoor marquees, booths and stuff with Hewlett-Packard and, this law firm and this business and this, and they were like, my friends are walking away, my business school friends, my engineer college friends, they're all like, hey, I got an interview as soon as I'm going to be interning this summer at Seinhauser, and I'm guaranteed an interview as soon as I graduate. I'm like walking around looking for Warner Brothers booth, Universal, hey, we're looking for actors when you graduate. Oh, you're going to be, it just wasn't. And I just had a big wake up call. I was like, holy crap. They're teaching me how to act, and they're teaching me the academics and kind of history and technicalities of theater production. But there's nobody teaching me how to get a job at this. Like, that's not happening. There's no. We even sort of started begging, like, man, can we talk to somebody who's like a professional actor and get some insight? Because I'm gonna be out here floating around in 6 months, and I think I need to get like an agent, something like that. So there was no job placement program for actors coming out of that, out of that profession, out of that college.
One of the good things then, would you agree, Jay? I know RADA were great with the showcase. That was one of the,
right.
They had incredible theatres right just off Tottenham Court Road, and the agents would come along.
Yeah.
And that
this
was
is the difference between the states. And I was in LA, I was in Hollywood, but everybody, it's one of those things. Another thing was that, New York and London are big theater towns, obviously, and we know that. But you're also not, you're not exclusively dealing with an entertainment industry. So in London, you can walk around. What do you do? Oh, I'm an actor. Oh, that's different. That's new. That's interesting. You do the same thing in New York. What do you do? I'm an actor. Oh, that's cool. Actor. Wow. Hey, check it out. He's an actor. Do that in LA. It's assumed. What do you do? I'm an actor. Oh yeah. What restaurant do you work at? So that's the kind of deal. So you couldn't, there wasn't like this, oh, we're going to showcase you and build you up. It was like feast or famine, man. You get out there and hit the bricks, do what you can, make it happen for yourself.
I did see though that you had something that I'm a massive Christopher Guest fan. He's like my guy. I love him. And you were the Groundlings, right? You did the Groundlings.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
There is stuff like that here, I'm sure, but I wasn't aware of it when I was. There's not.
Not like that.
Okay.
No,
not like that.
We're gonna bring it. Keziah. We're gonna bring it. I'm going to Free Association. I'm doing an improv class. You can join me too. We're gonna actually, if you want,
Free Association is about the closest we found, and we had Jonathan Broke on
do
here.
improv shows. I want to do it.
Let's do it.
So you can. I just signed up for a class. If you want to sign up too, we can do it.
I'm yes-anding you, Jay.
Yes, and I thank you.
Yes, let's. But Groundlings was a special experience and a very kind of unique thing to have been involved with, and I went up through the ranks there for a number of years. It was good. I kind of was hoping to find.
Go on.
I was kind of hoping to find some of that here when I got to London 15 years ago, but it just wasn't the same. Very niche-y, very cliquey, small groups. I even just saw an article about it recently that just confirmed everything I had thought before. Because here's a bombshell. They want to bring Saturday Night Live to the UK.
Oh, that's fun.
Bombshell. Not the American version. They want to recreate a British version of Saturday Night Live. And in that article, I think it was The Guardian. I posted it on the Offstage Acting Facebook page. You can go and check it out. I reposted it there. They have this kind of conversation about how it might different. They don't have that system, that improv campus system that they have in the States with Second City and what's the other? I say Improv Olympics, but that's not the one. And Groundlings and stuff. It's
UCB.
UCB, I'm sorry, Citizen Brigade, and there's another one. But that kind of puts you through that program of like education. So you start at the ground level and you work your way up through, and then next thing you know, you're being recommended for, and they're creating a big ensemble of people that have this skill. And here, it's all kind of like niche-y. You get a little group of friends from uni, you put together something, 4 or 5 of you take it up to the Fringe, you do it for a few years, and then it all sort of falls apart because somebody gets married, somebody gets a proper job, somebody can't do it anymore. So by the time you're 30 plus, it loses its luster, you can't keep it going, and all those little improv groups just fizzle and go away. As opposed to a school that's constantly bringing in new students, training them up, using the veteran students to educate them. And the veterans are going out and getting professional work, but coming back and giving legitimacy and stuff to the school. And it's this ongoing cycle of bringing up properly, let's say, educated improv players. We don't have that here.
Kind of crazy that we don't. It would just be brilliant, wouldn't it?
It would be.
I think so.
I was really hoping.
Do you do improv, Keziah?
I did it in drama school when the terms that you have in that kind of thing, and then I've always loved it. So me and a friend of mine, actually, Kath, and another friend, Christian, this is probably going back to 2010, we just decided to create our own characters and just start filming it. So we did do that for a few years, and so actually that's appeared on Alien Isolation websites, kind of going, this is what she's like in real life, and it's me playing this kind of horrible character to Kath, and I'm like, oh god. No, I haven't had this. Actually, the more screen stuff randomly I've done recently, we've been allowed to just keep improvising at the end of scenes, which I didn't feel like I used to be able to do back in the day, which
that makes me think of an interesting question. Like, how many of your jobs do they ask you to improvise? Because you've done so much stuff. Like, is that a common thing they ask you to do?
In mocap and in games, yeah, and to have a bit more say maybe in what's happening, and actually completely in motion capture scenes. If you're doing, I remember doing a driving game where I just played all the female. There was another actor playing all the male, and it was like, no, so it wouldn't necessarily be very difficult stuff with lots of dialogue, but you'd be DJing, or you'd be having to cheer along to a race, or have a romantic meal, blah, 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 or every kind of scenario you can think of, really, and then come up with your own. So, I mean, you'd be ideal for motion capture. I think improv is one of the key skills for that.
With ADR as well, which we do. Well, I do quite often. Jay does from time to time, but that's a lot of improv required in that room. Yeah. I was teaching it. You remember the Actors Center?
Yeah.
Anybody remember? Yeah. I was teaching improv there for years before they folded. And then they folded it during COVID, and they got rid of it. Unfortunately, that was our safe place in London.
I feel like it's, and I'm sure you've heard this before, Americans are much better at kind of keeping their tools, going to lessons. It feels like that's how it's the culture out there. Whereas here, it's the jobs you're doing that you're sometimes practicing on. Well, not everybody. I know lots more people go now, but definitely when I graduated, it wasn't necessarily a thing to keep going.
It wasn't a
classes.
thing, no. And we also had my buddy Nathan Osgood on the show recently, and he used to do a great thing. I called it the actor's workout, but it was just scene work once a week, and he would put together scenes. You'd come in, you'd grab a scene, you'd be assigned a partner. It was a 3-hour thing. I think we gave him 20 quid. He had a cheap space he could use, and you have to be off book. You'd have to do the scene. You get up, you workshop it right there in front of the people. You get a little feedback. Everybody jumps up, and it was just like going to the gym. It was brilliant. Then afterwards, you go to the pub. And I want to bring that back to some degree, but again, finding the space. Actors Center was brilliant for this kind of thing, but getting an inexpensive space in somewhere central London.
Have you heard? Do you know Marcus Flanagan, fellow American actor?
Marcus Flanagan sounds like a fellow Irish actor.
You'd. Oh, I hope I got his name right. He's a legend. You'll recognize him. He's lovely. He does something. Or have you heard of the Same Day Plays?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, I know you've been doing that. Yeah.
Yes.
You do that with Schwab, right? John Schwab's doing that with you? Yeah, Schwab.
Yeah.
He's a buddy, yeah.
We love John Schwab, don't we?
Yeah.
He introduced me, I guess, to you guys, actually, and also to the kind of ish. And then to the Same Day Plays. That was the reason I got involved with that, was through him. Because I think we'd been chatting at maybe the BAFTA socials, the BAFTA game socials.
Right.
And our love of theatre. And my last theatre job was, paid professional job was ended 2016, maybe.
Wow.
I know, a long time ago. So I was desperate. It's hard to explain unless you love it like us, right?
Yeah. I just did a local amateur theater at the local, because I was just like, I need to get on stage again and do some theater.
Well, this is one of I did the 24-hour plays back in the day when they did that. That was like 2008. And then I did another one in 2010 in New York, actually. We did like the T.S. Eliot Exchange, which was brilliant. But it just feeds everything.
Yeah.
You go in the writers go in, you probably know the setup. The writers go in the morning, 12 o'clock, we all come in, bunch of actors in the room, there for the same reason, not getting paid, just for the love of it. Get given a director, given a new script, you have to learn it in a couple of hours, you perform it to a public audience in the same day. And then you all go to the pub afterwards. So it's very similar to what you just described.
I love that.
Come along.
Yeah.
I saw it posted on, I think, Schwab's Facebook or something, and I saw you tagged in there, or I don't know where it was, on one of the socials, and I thought, oh, that's cool. I see that, yeah. That's
some great writing, and great directors I've worked with there as well.
I'll bet.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, there are some people in town that are trying to do stuff like that, experimental theater, new theater, developed theater and stuff. But, I also just saw a recent article that's like theater productions are down like something like 40%.
Ouch.
From COVID times, and there used to be a thing called off-Broadway. It doesn't exist anymore. There used to be a thing like, not off West End, but you could do fringy like theater stuff, but people would come.
Yeah,
they do the Soho Theater. Have you been, Todd? I think I've brought this up.
Yeah, I've been to Soho Theater.
People go. I was astounded when I went the other day, and I was like, what? And they have like multiple theater levels, and they have a bar. And I was like, I didn't realize there's actually a culture for going to theater. And they were mostly comedies too, I think. But
I mean, it's kind of shrinking though, in the shows they're doing. It's not like new writers and stuff. They have to, they have to peel. Like, okay, say it was comedy, like there's a trend like doing these shows that are based on old TV shows, doing a theater piece. It's like I just did. It's based on an old TV show or something based on a movie, and then they make a play out of it. Just to get the audiences in. Whereas I don't know if you say, or it has to be a name associated with it. But nobody's going to go see a great performance of Waiting for Godot with two unknowns and just go, I don't know what that is,
Would you?
Yeah, but I'm a theater guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But just a theater going audience, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something with the age of streaming now. We have socials, these kids today, these millennials.
I posted a video yesterday, actually, that appeared on my timeline. Mm-hmm. I think it appeared because of the LED screens and those all coming in with the, green screen motion capture, performance capture side. And it was a theatre show incorporating the two.
Okay, yeah, that's
which
cool.
Could be super, because we've got to embrace it, haven't we, etc. Yep. And so like evolving it, I thought this would be fantastic.
I think there's going to be a lot of that. Yeah.
That would be good, wouldn't it? And maybe with the AI thing, it will go full circle and people will be like, oh, let's go and see real people on the stage. That's my hope eventually.
I agree. Yeah. Just like anything else, there'll be, you can get the McDonald's version of a hamburger, or you can go get a proper hamburger from it, and you go, oh, that tastes the difference. And I think the entertainment will kind of be similar to that.
With no latency like this.
No.
The future.
But
we'll have to innovate.
You've done theatre recently, have you? I'm so jealous.
I just did. Yeah, it was funny. Well, we talked about it, but Hello, Hello. You remember the show Hello, Hello? Yeah.
Know it well. My best mate's mum was in that.
Really?
The original, yeah.
What part?
She was she was in love with the German guy with the bald head. She was the blonde. Her name in real life is Kim. Miranda Nolan's her daughter, and now I've completely forgotten Kim's surname, which is awful. But she was in the TV series, from the original TV series.
Yeah. Well, lovely this was Kim. A play about the TV series, and I played Gruber.
Oh, that's right. The Gruber is the one that she's in love with, no?
No, Gruber's the gay Nazi.
Yes, and she's in love with him, I think.
She's in love with
and he's not interested.
You
know it better than me. I've got it wrong, I'm sure.
Kim Hartman? Was it Kim Hartman?
Yes.
That's right. No, Helga. She plays Helga, and she's in love with Flick, Herr Flick, the Gestapo guy. She's with the Gestapo agent. Okay. Yeah. No, Gruber's But as I tell people, if someone comes up to you and says, "Would you like to play a gay Nazi?" You don't talk about bucket list, right? You just don't say no to that. There's just as an actor, there's just no level. I don't care where they're putting that on. They could put it on in my garage with a cardboard box set, and I'd be like, yes, I will be playing the gay Nazi.
I love that. So that was kind of heightened acting fun, was it? Was that the kind of
Yeah, it was full farce, full Amdram, local, like in my town, which was just ridiculous. Yeah, the whole thing. But they did a good job. Everybody did a great job. It was a new experience for me, but I just you just go out and you do the gay Nazi. Yeah, this is a wonderful thing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
very good.
That was there you go. Anyway, okay, so you come out of RADA, and then Keziah says, "Okay, I got my little certificate. I'm an actor now. Hire me."
Mm-hmm. And please tell us about tax. That's what I wish we'd also had lessons in.
Yeah.
But anyway,
how to set up a SRL, my own business, limited company, something.
Yeah, I am actually talking about Off West End. I'm not sure if it's classed as Off West End anymore, but my first job was at the Arcola.
Oh yeah.
Do you know the Arcola Theatre?
Yeah.
Oh, that was with another lovely actor called Philip Arditi from my year, and we did. Oh my gosh.
That was your first job. So you're like 22.
First job, 22. That's right. Yeah, 22. Yeah. Arcola in was it like
what was the show?
Hang on, let me. God, that's scary, isn't it?
That's so cool. This place.
That's scary.
It was only 5 years ago, Keziah. How do you not remember?
Hang on. It was. I want to say Venice, but yeah, Venice Preserved. It was Venice Preserved.
Okay.
Venice Preserved.
It was epic. I know. I'm trying to actually remember
Was it Epic or Venice Preserved? Now you're changing up the.
Oh, it was Venice Preserved,
Which was epic.
which was epic.
Right.
No, it was great fun. And watching that, actually, who came along to watch that, which is still, I stand by, the best decision I ever made because it's my favorite job to date.
Right.
But was who's also sadly passed away now, John. His surname escapes me at the moment, but he was the creative artistic director of Pitlochry Festival Theatre, which was one of the last remaining reps.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. And that, so I went and did that straight after. I think we were still finishing. There were a few
part
rounds.
of a rep company? You're like part of a rep company?
It was, yeah, I was the youngest of maybe 20 members. The oldest was 79. It's the best training I've ever had because I learned so much. We did To Kill a Mockingbird, Kind Hearts and Coronets, A Man for All Seasons, Treasure Island.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and 2 others that I wasn't in, so of course I've forgotten their names. But I was in 4, and then you just you rotated them for 9 months. With this leaping salmon, I'd go across, I'd cycle in on my bike. It was the most beautiful theatre, is the most beautiful theatre. Yeah. And in the gateway to the Highlands. Oh,
wow.
Living my Judi Dench dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, what an experience. How many years was that you did that?
That was 9 months. It was only 9 months. It was interesting. I was told by a few people not to take it because I'd just come out of RADA and I'd just done the Arcola, and you need to stay, you need to stay in London, go for the RSC,
sure. Oh, you do your 9 months, then 2 contractions and you're out.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
That's a callback. We call it.
You're listening. You're listening.
Listening.
Deep listening. And I mean, it was the best creative decision I've ever made. Maybe not the best career decision. I don't know. I definitely had the best time, and it was incredible cast, incredible sets and costumes. Everything about it was top notch, and I just had the best experience. So no regrets at all. But then no regrets. And then I came back to London and actually worked with a director called Gary Jones, who directed one of my final 3rd-year shows, The Trial, Kafka's The Trial.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was great fun. And then we did a show in the Crypt in Holborn in St Andrews, a devised piece there with Gary again, another one of my favorite jobs. I don't know if you find that sometimes the jobs that it's like the same day plays, I guess. Everyone's coming together, less for the money and more for the experience. Yeah. Brilliant. It's just brilliant, aren't they?
Just like school, or just like when you're young, which is when it's the best and the most fun.
It's the best. Yeah. And I guess you're free as well. There's no pressure, is there? And all those things. Which is the key.
No business behind it. So much business. Yeah.
Yeah. Money. Money.
Yeah.
More money, more problems.
Problems. Mocap.
And mocap. So speaking of mocap, then how do you end up okay, you come out, you do your theater stint, which sounds great. And then, but at what point, you're obviously looking for now to get pro work. You need to make, you got to pay the bills. So you come back to London, you get an agent.
So I had an agent when I left, and then I left those agents, and they were doing well for me. They were lovely. And they got me Pitlochry and all those lovely things, and they were kind of a mid-level agent, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then I came back and I did. I stayed on the theatre, did some nice Shakespeare plays for a while. That was great. And then 2008, the 24-hour plays came up, actually, which was a bit of a game changer for me. I did that. I got into that, did it. And Ross Ferguson, who was assistant to Duncan Millership at the time at United, watched it. And so that was basically, I don't think I did it necessarily to change agents, but it was actually a really good platform looking back to have another showcase at the old Vic,
Yeah.
And
essentially, yeah.
Yeah. So then I signed with Duncan, who's also Welsh, actually, from Porthcawl, which we didn't realise at the time because I wasn't playing a Welsh person in it. But that was, well...
These Welsh, you know how they do. They stick together.
Wait, is that who
we got it? We're so small. No, then I was with Duncan, and then he moved to LA, actually. And so I moved to another agent, within United. And then eventually, because Duncan took me on, knowing my work and kind of worked in my field. And then I moved to another great agent, but was more focused on a different strand. So it was all right. And I was getting a few jobs, but nothing was moving forward. So I ended up, how did this happen, actually? I ended up getting the opportunity to go with my current agent. I can't actually quite remember how that happened, but Ashley Valance, who I've been with since 2014. What used to be Cold Kitchen is now.
Have you ever considered doing the LA thing, or have you done?
Well, not really. Funny enough, I had quite a few friends go out, and when Alien Isolation came out randomly, that's when it was suggested that I went over there, because at the time, so that's an interesting one. When that first happened, I was kind of doing all of it. I worked on that for, like you were saying earlier, actually, it was a long project.
Yeah.
And I was first contracted for the voice, likeness, motion capture, performance capture, all that. And then I think 6 months into the process, I've probably got my timing slightly wrong. It got to the big dogs, and they just, which is quite common, they wanted an American actress to do the voice in the end. I think probably because my American just wasn't good enough, which is, fine. I've still got my little doll. But whatever the reason, that's not what I was told.
So you're the face, but you're not the voice?
I'm the face in the performance capture, yeah, but I'm not the voice. And I have to keep correcting people, because she's incredible, the lovely actress, again, whose name's escaped me, who does the voice now. And I often get credited for it. And I always try and say, this isn't me. I do some of the grunts and some of the sounds, but, it's not me. But before knowing that, I went out because it was going to go to the San Diego Comic-Con. So I went out for 10 days. And I have to be honest, I was quite overwhelmed with LA. This little Welsh girl. It was a lot for me for those 10 days, and it probably wasn't the real experience. But
what do you mean by a lot? Just like energy, a lot of people, a lot of.
Yeah.
Have you been to LA, Jay? You been there?
When I was when I was 16 and I didn't care. I was in the car the whole time and not paying attention.
Right. Good stuff.
I think I think partly it was me being very British and not used to talking about our careers so much, and the conversation being so much about that. We're kind of used to pride ourselves on being like, oh no, we don't talk about our, we just do the jobs.
Yeah,
yes, I've done this.
The land of the big ego, I always call it. I mean, I did LA for 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone was perfectly nice. They were all just so happy and full of energy. I felt like, oh gosh, I felt very, very small, and that I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready.
But you weren't there specifically to like suss it out. You weren't pilot season. You weren't looking for a representation, nothing like that. You came because of Comic-Con, and then you went up for 10 days and just kind of hanging out.
Well, no, I didn't do Comic-Con, actually. It was 10 days because a few of my friends from Wales and the UK were out there working and living and giving it a go. So I did go out to kind of test the waters. And I think I had one meeting with a manager. Isn't that awful that I've forgotten?
Yeah.
But I think I had one meeting. Obviously, wasn't trying that. That's the thing, I think, with me through the whole trajectory of my career. I wasn't maybe as tenacious. And then I get, I think there's probably a lot of people like this. You kind of work harder.
Let things come to you.
Let things come to you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe. I have recently taken on, or maybe not recently, last 5 years. What's that mantra of your agents take 20%, let's say. So that means, there's 80% of the work to be done is you too, And I do think there's a lot we could learn from Americans in some ways, owning the work they've done and, being proud of it more openly. I think that's quite good, levels.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what market you're trying to work in. Because I've also worked in the European market, and it's different. All right, I suppose if you worked in Bollywood or Australia or even Canada, and you were an actor local, your attitude has to fit the industry, in other words. Whereas if you're in LA and you're not positioning yourself somehow in a very clever way, and
so your work can't speak for itself. You kind of have to be.
I think so, yeah. The networking side of things, and that was what I didn't like about LA, was like I wanted to be in a place as an actor where it's like, well, but it's not a meritocracy, whereas here it's a bit more like that. Okay, this is, and even that's why Americans kind of really are attracted to British actors in a lot of ways, because they come without this kind of preconceived attitude of, oh, look at me. They just come, and it's recognizable that they're well trained and professional, and the kind of cream at the top of the industry, that's really what they're looking for, because that equates to low figures when it comes to shooting, right? I know that you'll be on the set. I know you'll be there on time. I know you're not going to be out, doing a bunch of coke the night before and partying, whatever. You'll show up. I know you'll know your lines, and we need a pro because it's a big day. It's $250,000 scene, big car crash, blah, blah, blah. We got a celebrity, we got stars on the thing, and that's what I need. So there's an attraction to that because they see that. But if you're in LA, getting up to that level where you can be seen and noted for being a pro, you kind of got to do a lot of finagling. And there's so many people trying to climb to that mountaintop, I guess. It gets a little, I don't know, it gets a little janky. It gets kind of ugly in some ways.
As if there's not enough to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I kind of see where you're coming from, Keziah, that I think I've done some jobs here in England where like I feel like I've worked with incredible actors, honestly, like such talent, but people aren't like, people don't like necessarily claim it.
They're not in your face about it. There's
They're
not so much celebrity. I worked Europe. There's no celebrity there.
Yeah, but sometimes some part of me wants, I don't know, like even just like a little EOT, right? Like I'm just doing, like I'm in a room with like 4 other actors at the sound house in this place, and they're all like experienced, and they all can do all these voices, and they're all actually so talented, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so cool, or you're so great, and they're like, right? Or like they don't.
But they're doing their job.
They're so blushing, they're just doing their job.
They're good. They're talented. They're doing their job. Whereas if you're LA, Hollywood type, it's a lot of other accoutrements that go with it.
Yeah, but then also in LA, there's like, one of my favorite sayings, my Icelandic friend, it's an Icelandic saying, the emptiest bin makes the loudest noise.
Wow.
And I love that saying.
That's good.
And I think it's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
True. I think there's truth.
So I was always amazed. I'd go, why are you so like up your own bum about this? When I'm in LA, I'm like, why? What makes you think you're terrible? Like you got the biggest mouth, but you're the worst, you're the least talented and the least professional, but you're the most active at trying to bolster yourself or put yourself out there as being something special. It was amazing.
Yeah, so not that way isn't necessarily right,
No, you want to be in an environment that's creative, with creative professional people who are trained and talented, and then have fun with it. But because it's such an attractive industry to be in, money and fame and celebrity, that LA it became corrupted. I think that's part of the reason why a lot of the production is leaving LA, to just because you can get away from that.
Coming to Wales.
Right.
There's a lot of production in Wales right now.
Lots of production. There's a whole, I'm probably going to there's Disney. Disney's there. They film a lot of the big films and TV in Wales now.
Yeah.
Okay.
BBC, big studio on BBC.
Cheaper as well.
Cheaper.
Great workers.
Universal's opening a big, good workers. Yeah. No, a lot of studios coming here, being built up, infrastructure, and not just here. You have Bucharest, you have Budapest, you have Prague, you have Sofia, a lot of Eastern European. So a lot, and then not even just in America, you've got Atlanta is now the hot spot. Vancouver used to be a place; they're still doing stuff there, but Toronto's always been fairly big, always, supplicated for New York.
Well, I recently, bringing it back to me, recently did Panama, which was the most incredible people to work with in Panama, like hardworking, lovely, amazing skin, obviously with that climate.
Wow.
And that was the Hallmark things that I've been doing. And
you've been doing Hallmark stuff?
Been doing Hallmarks, which was a clip that lady that was from 2023.
Okay.
And we made some more. And and that's a great place, I think. A lot of Americans come and shoot in Panama now, I'm pretty sure, which is
that's interesting. Well, South Africa, I shot some stuff in South Africa. It's big. They're just regular stuff, and they can make that place look like all sorts. So yeah, you can go. They'll go wherever it's easiest, cheapest, most convenient. But there's huge. Yes, Jay, you have a question, sir?
I do. You could finish. I have a question about Panama, or about the Hallmark film that you did. Yeah, well, okay, so I had a friend, like, actually, a lot of people I know are doing, like, Hallmark films, like, it's actually, like, a thing.
They're very popular.
They're very popular, and one of the things my friend was talking about, his name's Riley, is that, like, he had his own journey with the fact that he's had to go away from the mindset that he's creating this, like, Oscar-winning art, right? That it's just, like, it's just a Hallmark movie, right?
It is
Like,
what it is.
it is what it is, right? Have you
Have you
any sort of
sacrificed your?
Yeah, but do you know what he's talking about? And, like, did you have you had to, like, drop some barriers or, like, have a mindset shift to be like, "I'm just gonna have fun," or
For
"I'm
those
just,
that
like"
don't know, Hallmark movies are very focused on. It's a very sort of simple stories,
archetypal.
Beautiful sets, beautiful people, and doing beautiful things in beautiful places. Very popular around Christmas time. A lot of Christmas ones. So that's why you can see that Keziah has been cast. See what I did there? But Jay's trying to ask if you feel like you've had to sacrifice your
Nope. I mean,
artistic
I have to
integrity.
say, and I'm not just saying this because nope, my gosh, the experience I had.
Yeah.
So I did 2.5 months this stint. So we did
Wow.
one in
Oh my.
2023. Yeah, and for me, having trained in theatre, actually trained in theatre and then
Yeah.
learnt TV, in all honesty, we did have a few terms, but it wasn't anything like it is now. I'm sure you probably had the same. You know, we were being the boom operators. We didn't really learn about which eye to look at, none of the technical stuff.
Right.
We just did, you know, funky scenes from High Fidelity and stuff in
Right.
drama school. And then I left, and that's when I learned, right, on the job. I actually did a really
On the
cool,
job, yeah.
I was very lucky to do a series called Crash. Back in Wales, back in 2009, which is where I kind of learnt with some incredible Welsh actors like Mark Lewis-Jones, who would give me all these little tips as we did it. I'd be like, oh, right, okay, look at this point. Okay, you know, how to hit your mark.
That's
Simple
good. You
things.
need that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I needed that. It was only 12 episodes, but wow, it was
Wow.
needed. But
Training ground.
cutting to
Panama, Hallmark.
the Hallmarks. I'm doing a mystery one. So, you know, they've got this mystery channel now, Hallmark
Yeah.
Mysteries. So ours are kind of, how to say it? They're a sweeter version of the, like, Glass Onions and the...
Oh, that was
We
in
saw
the-
that clip,
in
yeah.
the reel where you were
That was in the reel.
Yeah.
where
Baroness. I was playing a Baroness. Which,
so fun.
It's a
which
bucket
being a
list one as
Welsh girl from the seaside, I didn't see a
Yeah.
Baroness in my future, but that's acting, right?
Proper posh Baroness, yeah.
Trying to be. And it was, so for me, the script, my character speaks a lot. I was thinking when you said hello, it's not as heightened as that, but there's a level, still playing it for real, but there's a heightened element.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, when we came to film the next batch, they did say they wanted that kind of played down a bit more and more for real. So it was an interesting challenge and process to film these films back to back. Really, you know, just quick line learning, getting that muscle going again, to then that's a place where we were allowed to keep the scenes going at the end. And the directors let us. We had Stephen Munro direct the first two, and he's great. He's got a great CV. So it was interesting. Then we had a lovely director called Claire direct the last one, who's an actor, and Steve's much more about the shots. And Claire's obviously comes from an actor's side. So that was really good too, and challenging to kind of work with those different people. And I've never worked on a franchise before, so it was just brilliant to get all these different scripts. And they were the writers brilliant. So my experience has been actually trying to keep up with it, and I could not sit back on my laurels.
Right.
I love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So always new challenges.
Always
around.
learning.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Did you have like a biggest challenge that like you had to overcome that you remember?
In on the Hallmarks?
Yeah.
The speed, probably.
The speed
bit
at
like-
which you had to like learn the lines and then perform it.
Yeah.
yeah,
turnover. Budget.
yeah,
They want to shoot a
turnover.
lot in a day, don't they?
Yeah.
Keep it
And
moving.
it's funny. And also, I guess, you know, I'm not 20 anymore. It suddenly dawned on me, you know, I'm in my 40s now. I know,
What?
shock horror.
Oh my God.
And I, you know, the muscle used to, the few times I have done something for a longer period, it's like, oh, after the first week, you're like, actually, you can't you? You can look at it and you can kind of almost put it down and it's in. And she's such a great character, Baroness Jamie. but her character speaks in big chunks and kind of some highfalutin language sometimes, and it's very clever.
Exposition and
learning that fast. Difficult.
Yeah, learning. And it did get easier, but it was. I couldn't ever just go and have a look at sandblasts on a weekend. You know, and also
as opposed to a video game where the words are right there on a big screen and you don't have to, and they're just one line at a time. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And they like you to stay on script as much as possible, don't they? They want you to.
Oh, I was just about to ask. So they do want you to be accurate.
Word for word.
They do, yeah. And I mean, but at the same time, they were great because obviously we'd played these characters before. So they would allow a slip up if it worked because we kind of lived in them for a while. So they would love us too, but you know, we were given our moments if it worked.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, and it was a great cast. That I have to say, I was number 3, and Elizabeth Henstridge and Charlie Webber. I only ever call him Charlie. I never really think of a surname. They were the two leads, and then it was me, 1 and 2. And wow, Elizabeth comes from a directing background now too. She worked on the DC series for years.
Wow.
For a long time, and so it was great having her as number 1 because as with the director in her, and she just had such a relaxed, great attitude, and she had a baby, and you know, a young baby, and she was filming and just made it look easy. So that was also another reason that I could never mess up because I did not have the excuse.
Right, you didn't even. And that was in Panama.
This was in Panama.
She brought the baby with her to Panama.
Yeah, and her lovely husband.
Right.
So yeah, it worked.
Wow.
What's your work? I was just about to ask, actually, you, in terms of your work-life balance, if you have to be away 2.5 months and things, but
yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? I have a fur baby and a very understanding partner.
Right.
Does the
He's
fur
probably like, you're going away for 2 months? Great.
Whoop, whoop. Right.
Actually, during that one, we just moved house a week and a half, 2 weeks before, so it wasn't the best timing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I missed out on that.
He had to do all the unpacking.
To do or sit around my boxes until I come back. Actually, I was so keen. I'd had my, like this studio now, I'd had my stuff in boxes for 5 years, a lot of them in storage for 5 years. It was never supposed to be that long. COVID was part of it.
Yeah.
And then trying to find a house, etc. So I was those 2 weeks before I went, I was looking at all my stuff that I hadn't seen for 5 years, putting them in places. So I was pretty exhausted.
Why did I keep this? I spent money to store this shit for 5 years.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Crap.
I definitely. However, it cost me a ridiculous amount, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then what was in there?
Computer monitor. I don't need. Anyway.
I'm looking at it now.
There it is.
Use it.
Collecting dust.
Yeah.
So where have you settled? Are you in Wales?
No, well, making my way back there. I'm still in England, but we're closer. So moved out of London west into Hampshire way. So basically the country life, the good life, which was a program from here, England in the 90s, which we're surrounded by pigs one side, cows the other, sheep and donkeys.
Wow.
And got green.
Yeah.
So ready for that. But it's nice actually, because I recharge and then kind of go off into London, which is commutable still, or go down to Cardiff, and then come back here for a bit.
Go home. Yeah.
We're used to travel, aren't we?
I mean, I just did the same thing, but I'm outside of London, but it's a 30-minute train ride, just straight into Euston. So it's not a big schlep by any means.
Oh gosh, no, that's we were in Tooting before, and that was probably you getting quicker than we did.
Yeah, exactly. People in London have more difficulty getting to places like Soho than I do. So it just makes sense. I'd much prefer. I like London, but I also enjoy getting out. I like going in, but I prefer going out.
We've bought the T-shirt, haven't we? We've done it. I did 23 years. And that was
right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I feel like a Londoner still. I don't feel like I don't go, well, I'm out in Bedfordshire.
Nice.
It's all right. It's a bit of all right. Well, don't tell people. Give them my address. Why don't you?
And the rest.
Right. All my super fans are going to be sitting outside my drive. Why do you laugh like that, Jay? What do you mean? You don't think it'll ever happen?
I'm thinking of your Doctor Who.
My hooligans.
Your hooligans.
Hooniverse.
Oh yes, I did see that you did Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
that through the lovely Andy Pryor?
It was, yeah. You did the Who through Andy? Yeah.
Oh, not in the
Not in the Hooniverse yet?
Hooniverse. No.
Oh, how do you know Andy?
Actually, Wolf. That first clip on the reel.
Oh, right,
was Andy, and
Andy got me a few gigs, but he hasn't done me any favors recently. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. I gotta have to have a word. I got a few gigs with him for a while.
Why don't you bring him on? Bring him on. Ask him.
That's a good. Yeah, that's how to get him.
Spotlight.
And I'll find out. Yeah, then we'll get the truth out of him. Yeah, no, Andy's great. Yeah, he got me a few gigs. Yeah, that was with
the Doctor Who world. Wow,
Peter
cool.
Capaldi was my doctor.
Brilliant! What an actor.
Yeah, it was great. And we shot that in Wales.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, not there.
Another one there. That's a biggie that they've got down there. Yeah. Also, you got to have some time in Wales.
Yeah, I did. Drove out there for the table read, and then we shot it up out in the hills and things. Yeah, so free trip, all expenses paid. I'll take it.
Lovely, jubbly.
Yeah.
Averchog, as we say. Averchog.
Averchog. Yeah. Cymru.
There we go.
Oh yeah. I gotta work on my Welsh accent.
It's a tricky accent, the Welsh. I sometimes find it hard to do a really strong. I mean, mine's you probably wouldn't have even known.
I've caught it on you a bit, but yeah, if I hear it, then I can start doing it. I'm like, oh, there it is. Cardiff. Yeah, there's a Cardiff. I can, yeah.
Cardiff. I think you'd be for Cardiff.
Cardiff. Anyway, the British accents, they're great. What's next for Keziah? What do we got on the horizon?
Well, talking of the mysteries, there is the third one comes out in June. If there is anybody that has the mystery channels, although it's in the UK, but you've probably got quite a few American listeners. In the UK, I think it comes out a bit later. That's June the 5th. There's the next one in the franchise coming out, and I am also. I don't know how this happened, but I am part of also a podcast which launches on the 28th of April.
Oh, wow.
Can you
hosting?
Oh my gosh, hosting. Yeah, with
What's it about?
It's the game side of everything. So
video
no
games?
Conflict here. Well, there's a crossover. There is
a bit of a crossover. So
it's it's
for gamers about gaming?
For gamers, for people in the industry, for fans, for everybody. It's with a company called Ready Aim Fire, run by Tom and Frank. Do you know them? Tom Stacey and Frank Tambourine?
No, I've heard of this company.
Okay, yeah, they're brilliant, and they work a lot on games with their production company. And they approached me a while ago to be a part of it, and I was a bit reticent to begin with because it's not my wheelhouse. You guys are so brilliant at it, and I was thinking I'm not quite sure where I fit in to doing this. But then we spoke about it and their ethos about it's about education, promoting the industry, about all the goodness and the brilliant side of it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be great.
Well, it's all about listening, isn't it? Like you guys are so brilliant at listening and tying, and I've actually really
I didn't catch that. What'd you say? Good stuff.
But I've learned so much already with the episodes we've done, and you do just end up listening, don't you? Because I'm fascinated, and you've already
bagged a few episodes.
Yeah.
In the can.
Some really good guests, 2 of which have been announced, and. Yeah, some really, really exciting. And, there are actors, but there's also how it works behind the scenes. And sometimes people that are on these epic games, a big part of them, but aren't necessarily talking about how they did their process. And it's so interesting. So that's happening. And then there's a film I have to mention called Protein that I did in Wales.
I saw that. It looks gross.
It looks gross.
But you like horror. I was like, what the hell is this? Tell Jay the premise.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'd say it's probably more a thriller with gore, or a drama.
Drug dealer eats one of his clients for the protein.
Well, he's like the anti-hero. So there's drug dealers, and then there's this guy. He's not a drug dealer, but he has other issues.
He eats the drug dealer, right? This guy eats the drug dealer. That's all I saw, and I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Your proudest work to date. What do you
does he get high off their body?
Then he gets high off the body because the drug dealer's full of drugs. No, I don't know. And it's called Protein, which even makes it more gross.
But what I like is that's the hook for some people. But then there's a lot more to it. If you watch it, you'll be like, I'm really proud of it. I think it's a great a great film with a lot more than
I'm sure
you think.
it is. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It just I was like,
it's great. It's got worldwide distribution anyway, and that happens in May. So we've had like all the festivals and all that
wow,
stuff.
okay.
And so yeah, so watch out for that. It'll be in May.
Watch
and
this
yeah,
space.
Watch this space. Movies coming out, video games nonstop, murder mysteries.
I was wondering how many NDAs we could try and break of each other's during this, but we've done pretty well.
It's getting near impossible to even have a conversation anymore about anything that you're doing or have yet to do. Like I said, I was looking at my just quickly on the train ride side, sent me a bunch of stuff, including a reminder about your NDA, which they must have, and you're just reading and you go, man, they must have had a lot of problems with people. Who are just getting in there and it was like, don't even tell people the code name for the game, because I don't know the name of this game. Yeah, and don't divulge the code name. Don't say the code name. And then I got into side, and one of the guys goes, "Oh, what project are you working on?" And he worked there, and I was like, and I was reluctant to go, "I'm not telling you." And he's got the shirt that says side on it. It's like, and he goes, "Oh, that one, okay." He just wanted to know what booth or what studio I was in. But I'm like, I don't know if I can tell you.
I know, it's like PTSD, isn't it? You've got to. I'm the same. You're just like, oh.
At this point, yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, Keziah Burrows. I don't know how to say your name, but I do know it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, this has been lush, as we say in Wales. Honestly, I haven't done many of these, and I've always. And this has been. I've really enjoyed it. So thank you for having me.
You're doing your own now, and this is an opportunity to be interviewed yourself, which is interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Come on to ours at some point with what I hear is you've both done a fair bit of games, so it would be great to have your experience.
Hey, I'm gonna have to promote Hot Toddy here, but Todd has done all of this like work, like what you see in front of you, this offstage acting, branding, and stuff himself. So if your podcast people ever need a new producer, honestly, I am always telling that Todd has, he's done all this himself. He's amazing. So I need to promote him for that. Because he deserves the recognition.
It looks great, and I'm always impressed. Like you, like how do you do this? It's absolutely. I'd never even heard of Ninja.
Yeah, I found that because I couldn't with the current kind of means by which you can do a podcast on quickly, like Zoom and StreamYard and some of these other ones. I just found it lacking. So I use OBS and Video Ninja, and they're free available, but you really have to know how to work with them. That's why I got Andy on board, and he helps with all the tech. He knows Video Ninja really well. So if you can set it all up, which took us quite a while, trial and error, you can have control, and I can do a lot more that makes it dynamic and like a proper real live show instead of just some talking heads behind boxes on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it more dynamic.
Oh, well, you both sound great. And I feel like we've got an opportunity maybe with the improv group, same day plays, come on the vodcast, stay in touch.
There's lots going on. Yeah, we will definitely be, like you said, we're friends now. So
we're friends. Kez, like the bird.
Kez, yeah.
Do I slam the laptop shut like Smartless?
No, we just kick you off with a little applause, and then we talk about you behind your back, but you're still listening. And we pretend
Can
that
I do the one more thing, and then you turn me off?
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. And we go, that's been great. You want to do it now?
Okay. Oh, one more thing.
Well, it's been great having you. There she is. Keziah. Kez to her friends. She asked for it, didn't she, Jay?
I love you so much. That was absolutely iconic. Thank you for being here. That was great.
Yeah. Wow. What a powerful. I could have talked to her for a lot longer.
Yeah, that was just so great. What a great guest, Todd. Thank you for bringing her on. This was great.
Took me a while to track her down.
Really?
Kinda.
She's like a bird.
She's like a bird in flight.
She only fly away.
I reached out to her on LinkedIn a long time ago. She never replied there. And I was going to go to Schwab, and Schwab's a bud, and I need to get him on the cast. But I didn't. I'm trying not to load it up with like all my buddies. Here's another, especially white dudes. You know what I mean? Here's another American white dude living in London, and let's get him on the podcast. Nobody wants to hear all that. So, let's get lovely Welsh, So I didn't go to John because I didn't want to go, hey, can you tell
We'll get there.
Kez?
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Slowly.
So I had to find her anyway. Blah, 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 blah. Enough out of us. Jay, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It's cool. Kezia Burrows. What a powerhouse, man. And man, watch her act. Like, god dang.
Yeah,
just
very good.
Just like the face, the emotions. You can see like a real actor.
Yeah,
for real. A serious actor. And then the range, and to be able to play the video games and the motion capture and the drama and the comedy. The fun.
And the great attitude and the great vibes.
Definitely.
She's got it all.
Definitely. She's the full package.
Full package.
Full package. The Welsh accent's a little much, but we'll work on that.
You just have to.
I had to do it. I couldn't just leave it alone. I couldn't just make it special and sweet. I had to.
Happy.
Couldn't be happy. I'm always happy here on the Offstage Acting Podcast. Special guest, Kezia Burrows. Check her out. Check her out in the mysteries. She's going to be Hallmark. You can watch her there.
Or Protein.
Protein, the new movie coming out. Protein. And it's not about a teenager who's a pro. It's about a guy that eats people. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Jay, on the Offstage Acting Podcast. Take care, everybody.
I am blown away. My jaw is sore from smiling.
You're a
tonic. You're a proper tonic.
That's great. We got that once before. Somebody else said that. Like, this is a proper tonic. That's good. That's a great compliment. Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good time, because you're such a great guest. That was so great.
Was it? I just feel like I talk too much, but thank you.